I didn't even read it.
The wind is our very worst enemy today.
Talk about it. You know,
Talk about the court system. The wind is getting worse.
I'll take
They ain't even letting us do it.
It brings awareness and it brings the wind.
I'll tell you. We're really making waves over here.
That's this beautiful morning here in White Plains, New York. My name is Andre Rainey. I'm the former mayor of the great city of Peekskill, New York, and I'm out here for a great cause to support the need for family court reform. I do want to say that I want to welcome you all here. There are so many organizations that are represented here today, so we thank you for your support. We thank you for your efforts to create family court reform, and we thank you most importantly for being advocates for children. This is a peaceful protest. We do ask everybody to be respectful and polite. People will be going back and forth from the library to the courtroom. Please make way so they can get through so we have no issues with the local police department. I'm going to ask everybody to keep their language as positive and as clean as possible so we have no complaints later as well. Most importantly, we are here because we are all have been affected, or we know somebody who's been affected by the corrupt and unjust family court system. My shirt says Dads Matter Too, but I want to make it very clear to all of the people out there, especially the domestic violence organizations. Family Court has worked to charge domestic violence organizations against fathers' rights organizations, when at the end of the day, we are all fighting for the same thing, and that's the best interest of the children. Unfortunately, some of these family court judges don't take accountability for putting women or even men in domestic violence situations. Children are suffering. Unfortunately, in family court, some of these judges are not allowing fathers to get equal custody of their children after divorce or separation, which in turn, of course, is negatively affecting the children. At the end of the day, the division between fathers' rights organizations, shared rights organizations, and domestic rights organizations, if we stay divided, we will never conquer a corrupt system like this. In order to change a corrupted system like this, it takes unity. It takes egos to be removed. It takes emotions and feelings to be removed, but actions to be put forth. There are several thousands of mothers affected by domestic abuse. There are several thousands of fathers affected by domestic abuse, some which don't have the heart to tell. Not for the reason that we believe, but some are just under the impression that they won't get the support they need or they're embarrassed. Same with women. We are all equal when it comes to fathers' rights and shared parenting rights. After divorce or separation, if both parents are loving and fit parents, we want to see the children have a relationship with both. And we will fight until that becomes a normal thing in the state of New York. I'm proud to be here this morning with so many of my friends, so many of my new friends. I feel like I can just say add a friend like they do on Facebook and you'll be my friend when I leave here today. But I thank you all so much for being here. I want to introduce a young woman now who's been an inspiration to me. She's motivational, works hard, her efforts are unmatched, and just the fact that she's a voice for the people out here is heartwarming to see somebody like her stand up against such a corrupted system, especially being, what, 5 foot tall? 4'11", and she's as tall as a giant when it comes to standing up for opportunity of equal rights and fair rights for the people in our community. So please, from Family Court Abuse YO, I welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Ashley. Thank you.
Woo!
Good morning, everybody. I just want to thank everybody for coming out, joining the protest, speaking up, having your voices heard. Right now, what we are dealing with is a family court crisis. Rights are being violated. Children are still stuck in a system being abused. There's no justice for mothers and there's no justice for fathers. Grandparents are being dismissed at the door when they go to advocate for their family. At this time, we have to refocus and regroup and rethink about where our taxpayers' dollars are going. They're not going to the right place. So at this moment, we have to continue to come together and really think about how we're going to get our message across. Our protests are not enough. We need judicial accountability. We need judicial accountability for the kids that are being abused, And we need judicial accountability for the parents that are being separated illegally away from their children. This is a very serious matter. This is happening all across the world. But we together are coming together to bring awareness, and I just want to thank you all for being here. And just reiterate Andre's message, just be mindful. We're all here as parents, we're all here as family members, fighting for the ones that we love. Let's get our message across. Let's do it in a peaceful way. Right now I'm going to introduce my dad, Jose Diaz, who has been advocating for grandparents' rights and has been at the front for us protesting with blood, sweat, and tears. So here we go, Jose Diaz.
Woo! Go Dad! Yeah!
Morning.
Good
My
morning.
name is Jose Diaz, and I'm fighting the family court system. It's an abusive system, a system that is stealing our children. They're stealing our children for profit. It's a money-making scam that they're running. It's $100 billion industry. And when you make that money, that amount of money, it's difficult to break a system like that. So we have people that represent us in government. That is the center of government in Westchester County. That's the county building. That's where we have the Supreme Court. We have the district attorney's office, the DA. We have the county executive, and we together are demanding our representation. You are a public official. You should be held accountable. And if you represent us, we want the representation appropriately done. We are really tired of being ignored by the public officials. They are public servants, and these judges are in direct violation of our constitutional rights, federal protected rights, state protected rights, civil rights. They don't care about, the color of your skin. They see green is money. And everybody is involved in this child trafficking, whether it's the New York State Bar Association, the Westchester County Bar Association. They know what's going on. But they don't care. These people are sociopaths. They only care about their own. And this has to end. We are here to demand change. We demand change, and we demand that these public officials do something about this. They gotta do something about this. The children are suffering. Parents are suffering. We suffer. My family suffer. My daughter suffer physically, mentally. And a lot of other people are going through the same process. These people don't care. Now they use listen, we have a Family Court Act and they violate it. We have the Social Security Act where they get federal funding. They get a lot of money. Judge Mary Ann Scataratico signed with the former administrative judge and what's her name? Daisy Kathy Davidson. She signed the foster care. 700 children went to foster care with these people. 700 children. And they don't care. They only care about the money, about having the $1 million homes that they have. That they want to drive the high-end cars. They want to send their children to great colleges. You know how? By removing your child, by removing your son, by abusing you. And enough is enough. We have to change the system.
Yes, we did.
That's it. Thank you for everything, and let's keep it together. Thank you once again for your passion. I'm so happy that everybody showed up here this morning. The next person I'm going to introduce, I met through the advocacy as well. He's been fighting. Not only is he fighting for other fathers across the tri-state area, but he's also in the fight for his children as well. Very, very, very passionate young man. Very motivational. Very inspirational. And again, I remind everyone the point that Pop Jose just made is very, very, very important. The money overrides almost everything. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Our children are continuously suffering, and they're continuing to push the divide between domestic violence groups and fathers' rights groups. It is up to us to change the narrative. It's not specifically about gender, it's about children. As long as we fight each other, as long as domestic violence groups are fighting with shared parenting groups and fathers' rights groups, the legislation will never have to pass, because they're going to look at us as if nobody's going to be happy. If we pass more laws that will support domestic violence groups, they will say we can't do that because the fathers' rights groups will be upset. If they pass rights for shared parenting groups and fathers' rights groups, they'll say we can't do that because domestic violence rights groups will be upset. Our job today and going forward is to find a common goal between the fathers' rights groups, shared parenting groups, and domestic violence groups, so we can stop allowing these elected officials to have excuses to sit on bills for 4, 8, 10, 12, 16, and 20 years.
That's right.
They've been trying to pass bills, and I'll tell you this, New York State, some of the legislators in New York State are proud. They'll tell you that there was over 13,000 bills submitted to the Congress in the last year. Out of those 13,000 bills, not even 1,000 were passed. In their minds, they're saying, we're getting all of these bills and we're pushing and pushing and pushing. In my mind, as a realist, if you got 13,000 and you only push 200, that means there's 11,000, 12,000 something amount of people, 12,800 something bills that you have not touched yet. That's not progress, that's misleading information. That's making people think that we are actually working hard when the bills that need to be passed and checked are not even being looked at, unfortunately. I remind you once again, the fight is not against fathers versus mothers, mothers versus fathers. It's the people versus the system for the outcome of our children. Parents against the system for the outcome of our children. Again, I want to introduce a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, and I will say one of the most inspirational young men that I've seen in the last couple of years in his efforts. From Fathers Speak Up, ladies and gentlemen, Dionis Fernandez. Thank you.
Woo!
Hello everybody, how y'all doing?
Hello, hello.
My name is Dionis Fernandez. I was incarcerated. I did 3.5. I made a mistake, but before I was incarcerated, I had a great relationship with my son. And when I came out, when I got released, I changed my life for the better. I got myself a great job, and it was hard for me to reunite with my child. So I was fighting in court for 3 years, from 2021 till now, and I still wasn't able to reunite with my child. So instead of me crashing out, what I decided to do was start my own movement called Fathers Speak Up, so I can help other fathers that are going through the same thing. Because sometimes fathers, we don't have the voice. We don't know who to go to. When we have problems, we keep it to ourselves. And now fathers are in contact with father, and fathers are getting together to become one loud voice, so we can vent to each other, so we can speak about everything we got going on. So what I do now is I go to all the barrels. I started in the 5 barrels, and if you got a court out of state, I will travel to help you. I'll help you file petitions, motion, modify your child support, and then I interview you about what you got going on. We just don't speak bad about the mother, because we want the mother to be there as well. We fathers, we great fathers, and I believe our children need the mother and the fathers. So right now, I'm trying to fight to change 3 laws. Number 1, I want to do that as soon as the woman is 6 months pregnant, we want to do a mandatory paternity test so we know the child is ours, because as soon as you sign that birth certificate, you only have 90 days to appeal it, and that's not enough time for a father. Number 2, I want the mother and the father to have joint custody, single or divorce. They just passed the law July 1st in Florida, and we should be able to do that here too. And number 3, for some fathers that are in child support, we want to know where the money is coming from. So some fathers, they want to request, where's the money going for my child? I want to know, is my child using the money, or you using the money for yourself? Because we fathers, and we want to get the credit. We want our children to know, hey dad, thank you for the money that you gave, because we paying child support and our children don't even know that we paid the money. Right. So this is very big, and I'm blessed. Now I actually work in Rikers Island with another organization called Fathers Alive in the Hood. So I go in there, I'm a motivational speaker. Like I was incarcerated, now I tell other individuals, you can always change your life. Even though you made a mistake, never give up. Your churches need you. Everybody make mistakes, but we can always change for the better. And thank you for everybody for supporting the movement. My movement just started. I did it like October. It's been like 8 or 9 months. I've been helping a lot of fathers right now. I have 268 fathers that's part of my movement. I go to time committee, city councils to speak on behalf of fathers because a lot of fathers don't have voices. So now I'm giving the fathers the voices that they never had. And now fathers, we together, we're gonna continue to fight and we're gonna do everything we need to do to be there for our children. My son right now, with my case, I was supposed to start supervised visit with my son because the mother said that I'm a bad father, I was incarcerated, so I had to pay her part, my part to start my supervised visit. She never went to none of the supervised visits. Instead, she went to a different state. When she went to a different state, when I had to go back to court in 4 months, the judge told me that I need to find her, get her served again, so the case to start again. And I told the judge, how are you gonna do this to me if we already made an agreement? How I need to find her if we already had a court open case? So now I need to find her. It's been about 8 months that I haven't found her. I've been spreading a lot of awareness. I got a big platform. It's very viral and a lot of people's helping me out. She took my son out of public school, his medical records. She did everything impossible just for me not to be part of my child's life, knowing that I'm a great father, but she just wanted to use me as a pawn, not knowing that this hurt the children more than the parents. So this is a movement for fathers to continue speaking up and for all the single mothers out there that don't have help due to deadbeats. Those deadbeats, they don't even pay on child support. The great fathers are the ones that suffers, that gotta pay child support, that gotta do everything. And the world is backwards. And it's time for the great fathers to just get together so we could be able to get our justice, so we could be able to get our children. Because our children need us, our children love us, and we're gonna continue to fight. We're not gonna give up. I came all the way from New York, Queens to come over here to support. Fathers are important because this is everywhere. I want everybody to feel this. I want everybody to hear all the things that the fathers are going through. And thank you for everybody hearing me out. Thank you, Andrew, for having me here today. And my movement is Fathers Speak Up. It's not fathers. When I made the movement, I thought about my son. My son telling me, Father, speak up. So I decided to make my movement like that. I just made a logo, and my logo is a child passing the mic to the father, like, speak up. It's not my fault, I'm young. Let the world know that he needs you, he needs us in our life. Sure. And thank you for everybody again.
One more time for Dion, ladies and gentlemen. One more time for Dion. I think what you're going to hear a lot of today is the concept of money. There's a lot of finances involved when it comes to dysfunction. When it comes to dysfunction between a mother and a father, a husband and a wife, or two people together after separation, there's a lot of money involved. And these courts are funneling that money consistently. The more dysfunction that we have, the more money these courts will get. The more support they'll have, the more need for support we'll have. I do want to encourage everyone, if you don't take our word for it. I went to a children and families meeting in New York City about 6 months ago, and we met with the Children and Families Committee in the Senate. And one of the guys on the committee, and this is all on video. If you follow me on Instagram, you can see it. One of the guys in the setting joked around and said most of the people protesting, or most of the people that are out here complaining about family court reform, are quote unquote the losers. What he didn't understand is that term losers doesn't necessarily pin to us as parents. It pins to our children. We're not out here protesting because we don't believe that the court system doesn't care. We're out here protesting because our children are suffering. whether you're protesting for domestic violence, whether you're protesting for shared parenting or father's rights. We're not protesting because we're bored on Friday mornings. We're not protesting because the economy is so good that we don't have to work on a Friday morning. We just want to stand outside in the sun like we're in Miami Beach. We are protesting because family court needs reform. Judges need accountability. We need somebody to have accountability when it comes to making the decisions that are impacting our children in a negative light. There are no jury of peers when you deal with family court. One person makes the decision for the fate and the future of our children. There's no requirement for that judge to identify or at least write down what evidence that person used to come up with that decision. That person can wake up mad this morning and not like the color of my shirt and say, you know what, I just think that the child needs to be with the other person. There is no accountability. We're fighting for accountability. We're fighting for justice. We're fighting for family court reform. But most importantly, we are fighting for the lives and the future of our children together. Absolutely. If I leave any message out here today, if I can give any message out here today, it's to the father's rights and shared parenting groups, as well as the domestic rights groups. Please, let's find a way to unify, because we are not each other's enemy. At the end of the day, I do believe we all want what's the best for our children. And in order to get that, we have to find a way to come together to fight the real issue, and that's the family court system. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to introduce our next speaker. Jessica, please come on up and share with us, ladies.
Sorry, everyone. I was not prepared to speak, but I am here with a group of people, and we all do have a common cause. Sorry, better? I got it out? So I'm out here protesting, and I've joined forces because I'm about to say the hardest thing to say that I hate saying. I am a victim of domestic violence, and the courts did nothing to protect me. They did nothing to protect my child, and they were supposed to, and I am not the only one this happens to. Court, when they decide what they want, whether it's for money, a connection, a political favor, whatever the case is, there is nothing you can do to change their mind. It doesn't matter the evidence, it doesn't matter the circumstance, it doesn't matter the law. Nothing matters but what they want. And that's why we're all out here with that same common goal. For our rights, for judicial accountability, for people to listen and respect our families. Our families are sacred, and it is the most sacred thing we will ever have in our life, is our family. And for the courts to come in and take that right away from us is absolutely unfathomable. It's unacceptable, and it needs to stop now.
So I'm going to pass it to Andre.
Oh, thank you. I was definitely caught off guard. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to switch it up now. We're going to hear from the perspective of an actual attorney, which I got to say, you come to speak about this a lot to us. It's a brave thing to do. It's a realistic thing to do, and they say that, you know, one person can't change the world, but what they forget is that one person trying motivates others, which leads to the world being changed. So, ladies and gentlemen, attorney Josh. Thank you.
Yeah!
Am I doing this right? Everybody can hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'm not really so good at technological stuff, but I got a big heart. And, you know, I was brought into this about 5 or 6 years ago. I've been an activist for, you know, most of my life. Activism really changed my life because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. And I saw a sign on a pole in Washington, D.C. that said, come and help clean the oceans. And, you know, it just pulled me into a direction where I found myself and what my role is in this world, and is to be an activist. And I really see a lot of people out there right now who I think are now understanding better than we've understood in a while that things need to change on lots of different levels. But the one thing that is the most important thing is, I'm sorry, but it is a sad statement about our society when, I mean, the U.S. Surgeon General said it right. The moral test of any society is how you protect your children. And we are not doing that right now. And that's not just up to the people that have been through the system and who are here trying to work to change because they know that things have affected them personally. And therefore they're doing the right thing, and they're here to say, I've been affected personally, and now I'm gonna work with other people to change this rotten system. We need more people here to understand that these are our children we're talking about. This isn't any, these are innocent lives that are being destroyed. They have a statutory duty. I can't talk like a lawyer, even though I feel like, I'd rather be something else. I mean, the lawyers in this system, I don't get it. You become a child's attorney. When I first started dealing with these people, I said to myself, these people want to be attorneys for children. And they are some of the, I'm sorry. Whatever you want to do to me, powers that be, I'm kind of beyond caring. This system needs to change. These children have done nothing wrong, and it affects our society. What happens when we rip families apart, and these children grow up, and they go into society? That ain't good for any of us. So it's on all of us to get involved, work together, and make the changes that need to be made. Mr. Rainey, I think, he's an amazing guy. He's telling it exactly the way it is, in my opinion. And I don't think opinions are all equal. I'm a very logical thinker, and what Mr. Rainey says is true. We can't have divisions in the ranks here, guys. Yep. No divisions. Yep. One person says one thing and somebody says, I don't really agree with that. Put it down. Yep. We need to work together. We are against a monster system that I don't know how much money they're making. There's numbers being thrown around. To be honest with you, I don't know what's right, but I do know the judge holds a bag of money at the beginning of every case, and she can decide what forensic examiner she's gonna hire. They can decide what 18B attorneys they're gonna use, and everybody needs to cater to the king or the queen that is the judge. You know who the king and the queen should be? The child. Yeah. Woo. Let's make decisions about what's in the best interest of the child, and not what's in the best interest of the system. What are we doing? The system is more important than our children? Making the judges feel good that they're kings and queens, and the 18B attorneys continuing to be able to, feed themselves? No. The system needs to be broken down to its bare bones and started over again. And that's a lot of work, but we can do it. And there's money that is being spent right now on what? Stuff that's gonna harm our children. Why don't we take that money and put it into stuff that's gonna help our children? In some ways, it's not that difficult. It's not that complicated. And if we simplify things, we can get this message out. We can get the people behind us, and we can change this system. And this is not, I've been doing it for 30 years, I'm kind of exhausted in some ways. I'm beaten down. They're trying to beat me down. I'm not going to get into specifics. But we all need to be behind each other. We all need to support each other, because this ain't easy work. First, you go through the mess in the child court system with your child. That beats you down. And then you say, I want to do something about it. And then that beats you down because it ain't easy. I want you, every single one of us is each other's brothers and sisters. I don't care what color, I don't care what walk of life, I don't care what economic situation. We all need to help each other, love each other, and work together to change this system. It's the best interest of the child. They're statutorily required to look out for the best interest of the child, if they're not doing it. So, thank you very much for hearing me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you sincerely. Everybody okay? You feeling all right so far?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm so thankful of you speaking. I'm thankful for everybody here that's speaking today, but it means a lot coming from your perspective. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. At this time, coming from distances, ladies and gentlemen, this young man has been working his behind off, and he's one of the people behind organizing this actual protest today, a new partner I'm happy to collaborate with. I'm inspired by his story, and I'm looking forward. One thing I do want to ask everybody, please, before we leave, we have an email list that we'll have sitting around on the table soon. Please stay in touch. The key is numbers, the key is networking, the key is the message, the key is the truth. And with more of you around, it's easier for us to push that message. And if anybody wants to speak afterwards today, prior to our departure here, just let me know your name, and I'll be glad to let you voice your opinion or voice your concerns or just share your story. Either or is fine. But please put your hands together for my newest friend and partner, Jim Shock, ladies and gentlemen. By looking at bullhorn, I can tell he's prepared.
That's what I said, man. That's what I said. That's some horn you got there, guy.
Good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Targeted, judicially abused parents.
Yes,
How are
sir.
you today?
Doing good.
Good, good. Well, this is quite the organization. It's more than I expected. This is amazing. I just want to thank everyone for coming out.
Of course.
And a lot of you all know, you know my story. Here's the politically correct version. This is what I think needs to be said, and I want to address these issues, and then I'll tell you a little bit about my personal case and where it's going from now. New York Family Court, child trafficking and racketeering, and crisis demanding action now. Family courts, institutions meant to protect children's welfare and ensure justice within families, have become hotbeds for corruption and injustice in New York. This is ground zero. It's all throughout the country. Disturbingly, these courts are exploiting parents and children engaging in behaviors that resemble child trafficking and racketeering. Instead of fostering safe environments, children are being torn from their families and placed in harmful situations with systemic corruption perpetuating this pervert travesty. I'm hearing it in the windows. At the heart of this issue is a lack of judicial accountability, which is what everyone's been saying. Judges, attorneys, and officials within the family court system operate with certain impunity. Their actions go unchecked. This opens the door to abuses of power of personal gain, overrides the well-being of vulnerable families. We must bring an end to these unlawful practices to protect our children and restore trust in the judicial system.
Yes.
Our campaign calls on Congress, the governor, and the U.S. District Attorney to acknowledge these severe issues and take decisive action against the judicial abuses.
Yeah, James.
Demand Congress, Grace on the line there, sorry about that, to stop the billions of dollars the state's abolition, current family court system, which has failed so many, establish the judicial accountability, measures to ensure that crimes committed against our children and targeted parents does not go unpunished. This fight is not just about reforming a broken system, it's about rescuing families from the clutches of a predatory regime. By standing together, we can expose and dismantle the corrupt structure within our family courts and build a fair and just environment for all judicially targeted families. When we see cases that have gone on for years, paying child support, mothers and fathers doing everything the courts have asked us to comply with, and mostly in all these cases, moms and dads are more than capable of raising and providing for their children, caring, loving homes, environments, yet we are still blocked for no valid reason than that of their insatiable hunger for money and power. We demand action now by putting an end to the judicial abuse, judicial misconduct, and tyranny. So many of you know, I've been fighting like most of you. My son James, 5 years, across multiple states like Leonis. My son was kidnapped, 7 weeks old. I immediately filed a habeas corpus, did everything the courts wanted me to do. Fortunately, around that time, COVID hit, so courts were closed, everything was backlogged and everything, but all along the way across multiple states, still here, got my judge recused. I'm in 2 books, Slam the Gavel by the beautiful author, podcaster, Slam the Gavel, Marianne Petrie, musician. You can look at Raised by These Wolves, Volume 1, Raised by These Wolves, Volume 2, on story number 9, Tracy York, number 14. So, we're just coming together in these books. We've got podcasts going on. We're exposing this judicial tyranny. Gotta call it for what it is.
No, I'm in Connecticut. I'm having a problem.
Think about his grandma over here, my mom, Natalie. You know, we all miss him to death, and put myself on child support from day one, and just still can't have him. Why is that? Well, they won't give you a reason, because they know if they give you a reason, they're going to admit to their guilt. They're going to admit to their crimes, and this is wrong. So this is why we got to come together, demand judicial accountability, and don't stop. Keep fighting for your children. They're your future. They're your flesh and blood, your heart and soul. And let's get these kids home.
Yes!
Woo! Thank you, Jim. Thank you so much. I did think you were going to close out, but I have one more mom. She's going to share her story. Tracy Arms. Everybody give it up for Tracy.
Woo!
I met your mom.
Oh, okay.
Hey guys, my name is Tracy Arms. I am a victim of the family courts here. I never expected to be in this situation, but it's inevitable. I don't care what color or race or what financial status. We are all eventually going to have to deal with this corruption of family court. We're so naive to think that this family justice system and the judicial system is just. It is absolutely opposite. It is not innocent until proven guilty. You are guilty until proven innocent. And that is the bottom line. These judges are not required, people, to view our evidence. So you can have evidence and pictures and photos and videos of the abusive party and who the manipulator is in this court system. These judges are turning a blind eye. And this is where Catherine Kasanoff had her case. My case is very similar to hers, as I was married to an abrupt attorney. So they have had complete bias. No matter how violent, how much unethical doings he does, the courts just turned a blind eye and award my children custody as they were brainwashed. I try to warn these magistrates, these judges, of how abusive and what an anger issue my ex-husband was being an attorney. And you know what? 2 weeks later, you are still awarded, if there's an order of protection. This is the problem. My children would profess and cry to their therapist how fearful they were to go to their father. So even Charles Manson had a visitation with his children. But you have an order of protection that's in place. It's a double standard. We are forcing our children to go to the abusive parent, whether they're SA'd or physically abused. And these children profess and cry to everybody, and nobody is listening to them until they are dead. That is the bottom line. Or continually to be abused. There has to come to a stop. What other occupation can you have and do a deplorable job and destroy people's lives and go to work the next day and have zero accountability? It's called being a judge, being an attorney for the children, CPS. So this is the problem. There are laws in place for these judges, for the CPS, for attorney for children, but there's no oversight. This is the problem, people. They continue to do that and keep the money scheme going, paying the attorney for children, paying CPS, paying for a corruption of these corrupt forensics evaluators. There has to come to a stop. How many lives are going to be taken? Another Catherine Kasanoff? Another Akia? What is it going to take, people? Children are hanging themselves because they don't want to go to the abusive parent. That is a fact. So we need to wake up, and I praise everybody here. problem is not a mother's problem or a father's problem. The tables have turned now, and the courts are now awarding the abusive fathers custody. So as much as people want to say it's in the mother's favors and the mother's favors, I am completely going to go against that and say they are false. They are, like I said, there are many great women that are safe parents, and the tables have turned. This isn't 1980 anymore, and they're only awarding the mother custody. They're awarding horrible, terrible fathers, males, custody, regardless. So we need to unite and have the solidarity and keep that going, because only unity, we will silence these people for being accountable for destroying people's lives. And that's the bottom line, people. That's the only way we're going to defeat these deviants of the courts and robes and under black robes, is having solidarity, men and women. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Tracy, for your message. Thank you. And I just want to go off of a little bit of what she's saying about abusive parents. If you are a good father and you are a good mother, the message doesn't apply. You have a right to be here, you have a right to fight for your kids. But we do have an issue with child abuse in this country. But if you ask me, child abuse does not belong in family court. It is a crime. It belongs in the criminal system. I have no idea why family court judges are looking at abused children and not giving consequences and accountability for hurting children. It is a crime. It does not belong in family court, and those people are no longer their parents. Okay? That's where we draw the line. But if you are a good father and you are a good mother and you have been alienated against the system and you're here today to protest that, then, you know, right on to you. I totally give you all the respect for coming out and really advocating and showing your voice for your children. It's not easy. A lot of us had to take off from work. We have to stop our lives for our children.
It's okay. It's okay.
Got it.
It's not easy.
We're gonna win this.
It's not easy to come out
We're gonna
every
win.
day to advocate for your child when the system deems you unfit. I've had my daughter from the beginning. I've taken care of my daughter from the beginning. And these crooks took her away from me.
Yeah.
Because I advocated for her. Okay? Judge Marianne Scatteratico took her away from me. I was a woman that was dragged out of a house pregnant naked. And they ignored that. Okay? So I'm here to fight for my daughter. I'm going to continue to fight for my daughter. I'm going to continue to fight for my child. I'm going to continue to unify parents against the system. Because we all have a right to be here. Andre, Jeanette.
Drop the mic.
Got your voice. You got your voice.
I wouldn't even argue with her. Like, you know, because it's true.
On that note, you know.
Love you, Ashley, and all you do. I definitely want to thank everybody, you know, Jim and Ashley and everybody for helping organize this wonderful event today. And I just want to remind you all once again, the domestic violence groups, the shared parenting groups, and the father's rights groups, we are not each other's enemy. We can be each other's supporter. We can be each other's advocacy partner. We can be the team that comes together to help fight a system that's preventing us from raising our children the way they're supposed to be raised. The traditional curses will continue and continue and continue and continue until we stand up and become a united force against this corrupted system. There's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of politics involved. And I say that to say it's not going to be easy. It is not going to be easy. I repeat, it is not going to be easy. This group right here, I hope you all sign the list for our emails so we can keep in touch with you. We are here to support you. National Parents Organization is who I work with, and Fathers Are Important is who I work with. We are here to support you. If you're hosting a protest in New York City, in Connecticut, in Boston, and you want our support, in Queens, wherever you are, if you want our support, we'll stand there in solidarity with you, as long as you can remember that we are not each other's enemy. The only enemy that we have here, if we're going to label anybody enemy, is the family court. So thank you all again so much. Continue to stand up. In 2025, we're going to be protesting and lobbying for different bills and policies in the state of New York. we're going to need as many people to show up as possible. We will have, some of us are going to be renting vans, so if you'll need a ride, depending on where you can meet us at, you'll be able to ride up and ride back. It'll be an early morning shift, probably leave New York, probably leave this area at about 6 or 7 a.m., depending on when we have the meetings with the legislators. We're going to have some of us inside lobbying, setting up, we're going to set up meetings prior. Some of us will be inside lobbying, sharing some of the shared parenting bills or domestic rights bills, whatever you may have, with the legislators, while the rest of us will be outside protesting, making noise, sharing information, and educating the people on the need for family court reform. Again, network before you leave, stay in touch with everybody, connect, and if you need our support, we will be here. Last but not least, I'm going to allow our greatest, Mr. Jose, once he gets off the phone, to close us out today. Again, thank you all so much for being here. The fight is not over after today. This is just the beginning of an entire movement that we're going to push for the year 2025 for the sake of our children. Thank you so much. Jose, come on.
You gotta give it to the big mouth, Jose. That's me. You know why? Because we have to fight. Mr. Rainey, thank you for supporting us, and we support you too. Because, you know something? Your fight is my fight, is everyone's fight. And this is the problem that we have. We gotta hold these judges accountable. We gotta hold them accountable. Because what they commit is a crime. They're protecting criminals. They're protecting child abusers. And we gotta hold these politicians accountable. This is what they are. Politicians in black robes. That's what they are. Yesterday, Marielle Scaravarico neighbor was endorsed by the Yonkers DNC, Tommy Myers, to run for the Supreme Court. She'll be coming to that building now and abuse children at the county level. Since the Yonkers politicians couldn't hold her accountable because that's their friend. That's their friend. They don't work for us. They don't work for us. They are elected. I mean, they're not elected, they're selected. They're selected by a group of people. And that's the big problem that we have. Now, when are we going to do this? Now, this is what we're doing. This is the beginning. These are all you need is a little spark. And we can burn the whole thing down. Okay? Because that's what we need to fight back. Fight the abusers, the judges, the law guardians, the corrupted attorneys. The corrupted attorneys are the ones making money. They don't care if your child suffers. My daughter suffered a lot. Mr. Rainey suffered. And each and every one of you here is suffering. You know why? Because of the money they receive. We got to cut the money supply. We got to let the federal government to stop funding foster care.
Absolutely.
Foster care. It's a $100 billion industry. Lawyers, you know that. You know that. It's a $100 billion industry. It's for the money. It's never enough. It's never enough for these people. It's about the money and the power they have. Because, listen, they have the power law enforcement too. But law enforcement work for us. It's about time that we demand our constitutional rights. Our constitutional protected rights. According to the federal government, we have rights. But these individuals in there, these corrupted judges and attorneys don't care. They don't go by the law. We gotta hold them accountable. Accountability. And this is the beginning of holding these people accountable. And we're not gonna stop. God bless everybody. In the name of Jesus Christ, that's the name that they don't like.
Okay.
Brad? Everybody, we're gonna have Brad come and speak real quick. He wanted to just do a quick reference, and then after Brad, we'll have Kimberly, and then we're gonna have Andre close us out, okay?
Good morning, everyone. I showed up because I'm a targeted parent in the New York State court system in Putnam County. I didn't come here to prepare a speech, nor did I plan on talking. My case was 3 years long, and I was married 3 years. I have one child. He is now 6 years old. I do spend time, and I am a parent to my kid. but I have no other resources other than myself here because my family lives out of state. A lot of what I saw in the family court system was gaslighting and manipulation, and them trying to say that we're just following the laws, and the laws say this and the laws say that. I want to say though too, before I was divorced, and I'm the one who filed for divorce because of control in my relationship, I didn't need an attorney in my family. I didn't need an attorney for the child to represent my kid before I was divorced. I didn't need anybody in my life, in my family, before I was divorced. So why? Why did I need all that afterwards, but I didn't need all that before? I didn't need anybody tell me how much money to spend on my kid, what to spend it on. I had a settlement agreement because after 3 years and losing over $130,000, I figured, you know what? If I keep fighting, they're gonna take my house from me. What good is that gonna do for a kid? What good is that gonna do for me? I'm a public servant. I spent 25 years in the fire department across 2 states. I'm currently a New York City fireman in the Bronx for 17 years.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I protect the citizens of New York City. Why would I not protect my child?
Let's go.
Yeah!
I protect strangers and their lives from burning buildings. Why would I put my own child in danger? Now I'm shaking because I'm passionate. I filed for divorce in January of 2020. So we're almost 5 years later, and I still am affected by it. I want to quote the New York State Social Service Law 111I. Each social service district shall ascertain the ability of an absent parent. The word is absent. Absent parent to support or contribute to the support of his or her children in accordance with statewide child support standards as set forth in Subdivision 1 of Section 413 of the Family Court Act. I'll tell you what, from being representing myself as a pro se litigant for 6 months, you read through this crap and it is so damn confusing. Does anybody really know what to do, where to go? In my opinion, no, because it's so complex. And they set it up that way. So people like you and me won't be able to figure things out. My opinion is, they don't know all these laws. It's thousands and thousands and thousands of pages. So what do? Who's the defendant attorney? Who's the plaintiff attorney? What money has each attorney donated to my campaign or me fundraising to get in my position? I got your back, buddy. Don't worry about it. Despite all the things that I said, COVID definitely was an impact on my child being able to go and visit family. My family didn't see my kid for 2 years because of it, unless they came to me, which is 500 miles away. But on top of what I said about Social Service Law 111I, child support, there's not one parent here that isn't an involved parent. The laws say each social service district shall ascertain the ability of an absent parent. Nobody here is an absent parent. Now, in my case, they'll say I agreed to $1,325 a month in child support, or 17% of your gross income, not net, not what you take home in your paycheck, but your gross income. Does a 6-year-old need $1,325 a month? No. I can understand people wanting to provide money to the
That's
spouse
awesome.
because their job is not what it is. But there should be a system of, hey, let's get a card. The child support goes on a debit card. If the mother only uses $400 out of the $1,300, the other money should be reimbursed back to the father. That doesn't happen, or the mother, for that means. If a mother's paying child support, it should just be the same. The money should get reimbursed. You can't live and support a kid and provide a roof over the head when you're drained financially to nothing. So I applaud everybody out here for being here. I'm sorry for what everybody's going through. I didn't plan on saying anything, but I've seen you guys at other rallies before. I'm shaking. It's a passionate thing for me because I'm 45 years old and never expected in my life that I would ever go through this, ever. I didn't need anybody before I got divorced and with my kid. All of a sudden, I need everybody in there to be involved, and that's just not right. So I'm gonna turn it over, and I thank everybody for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brett. I'm going to ask Kimberly if she can come up. Kimberly.
Did great.
Team Fun Family Court. I love it.
Got the whistle and everything.
Thank you.
No problem. Guys, just remember to sign up, email, first name, before you leave.
Can you send me that channel?
Hello, my name is Kimberly Ramos. I'm a mother of 3 boys, 3 young children who are special needs. I am also special needs. And my children were ripped from me when all I needed was help. There was limited people who ever spoke up, especially within the system. My children were abused in the system, in the foster home. They came home, and we were about to be a month out of completing this whole thing, and they put us back into the cycle. We've been going through this for the past 7 years. And I'm speaking up because I have not spoken up, because I was scared, because I didn't know how to speak up, how to articulate this. But this is enough. Our children do not deserve this, and I am tired.
Yeah.
They need to free our families because they are not profit, but it feels like this cycle is never ending. I've been in TV, I'm a survivor, but I also feel like I have to be a survivor through the system because they are another form of abuse, and they must dig into their morality. Find their morality and find themselves again, because the way they have been going about all of this is incorrect. And I pray today that our voices are heard, our children's voices are heard, because like they said before, children are being abused. They're sad, they're struggling, and they should not have those suicidal thoughts. So I pray today that everything is used for the best, for the good. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Andre, I'm going to have you close us out. Just really quickly, I just want to thank everyone one more time for coming out. If you guys can please leave your email addresses, your phone numbers, so Andre and I can continue to keep in touch with you as we move along through life and protest and advocate for our children. We want the support and the movement to grow in numbers. And again, thank you guys for coming out and having your voices heard. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you all so much. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here at this peaceful protest. This is what it's all about. I just want to say thank you all again for coming out. We really appreciate you. There's going to be several more. The more that we have, the more that you come out and speak your voices, the more effective we'll be. And remember, everybody can play a role. When we walk in family court, I tell the police officers, I tell the janitor, I tell the person sharpening pencils, I tell the person locking the doors, I tell everybody and anybody that I see, everybody can support. If you aren't a victim of the child support, or the family court system, you may know somebody who is. So don't ever think that your voice doesn't matter. If you're not sure, if you're not brave, or if you're not confident enough to speak, your support matters. You don't have to be a public speaker to support change in family court. There's different roles. You can protest, you can share information, educate your community, contact your local legislators, whether they're city mayors, town councilmen, congressmen, or New York senators. It doesn't matter. There's a way for everyone to help. As long as we put all of our hands in this together, we can actually make the change we're looking forward to. So until next time, God bless you all. We love you all. We appreciate you all. And we hope to see you all again very soon.
Woo!
Make sure you sign our email information so we can stay in contact with you. Take pictures of everything. Share this on your on your social media platforms. And please stay in touch.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Thank you.
That's right.
Woo!
Father Speak Up, National Parents Organization, Family Court Abuse YO. There's so many different organizations. But thank you all so much for your support. Peace and love, and get home safe, everyone.
Yeah, boss.
I got a beautiful video, y'all, too.
System, baby.
Ready?
Run the system.
Woo! Yeah, boy. Love that, dude. You got the whistle, too. That shit is great.
I'll take my license as soon as they see me with you.
I'm gonna go bother the general public real quick, because that's what I do.
Let's go.
I'll be here though. You'll hear
Yes,
me.
sir. Absolutely. I love that guy, yo. He's like, you know what he did? He just walked up to me and said, I'm gonna go bother the general public now. I'm like, this guy, he's shot.
I love the soccer
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a cause that keeps us cool. After that story has never been told. Come on, get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up.
We're gonna take a picture on their right. That's our right. And the court on their right. We're about to start chanting. I'm ready. I'm ready.
It's so bright out here.
I know, I've been squinting for 2 hours.
Yeah.
All right, everybody in the picture. Everybody that's in the picture, come over here. We're gonna face this way.
I'm so happy to see you. You came in like a...
Yeah.
Well, Josh, how does it feel to be an attorney right now?
For the limited amount of time that I probably have left, I'd rather be an activist. We have to change the system, not work within it, because it's a mess. We have
I
to
agree.
Change it.
Well, Josh, it's good to see you. They're all over the fucking place.
Yes, the government actually paid $1 million to infest us with all sorts of bugs today.
I don't.
It's fucking nuts.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
families. Stop the abuse. Stop the war on children. Stop having to hire 5, 10, 20 attorneys. Years and years and years of keeping your children away from you without goddamn reason. Wake the F up!
Stop killing, stop stealing our children for profit! Stop stealing our children for profit!
Keep it up!
Judicial accountability now!
Dude, his whistle is so bad.
Stop stealing the children for profit! Stop stealing our children for profit! You're running a criminal enterprise!
Stop child abuse in family court! Stop child abuse in family court! Stop child abuse in family court! Stop child abuse in family court!
Children for time! Children for time!
I love it.
Stop stealing our children!
It's crazy, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Hold the attorneys accountable! Stealing our children for profit, you child abuser! You're abusing your children! Destroying our families! Who's the criminal? Where are the criminals?
We want our rights and we want them now!
I got you, bro. I got you, man. Yes. I'm with you on this, man.
Fathers, speak up. Fathers are getting together to become one loud voice so we could be able to get the justice we deserve to reunite with our children.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Why don't you come out and support the people?
Woo, we out here, man.
You work for us! You work for us! Remember that!
You work for us! 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 You work for us!
What's up, man? You're the only one that's left. You're the only one that's left, man. You gotta understand on my platform.